Good afternoon, everyone. I am Kevin Bryant, and I am here with the Heatseekers, bringing to you Culture Talk, where we keep it on the street and we know what's going on in our culture. And we have a very special guest, a guest that's making my mouth water already. Chef Rolle, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Brother Brian?
I am absolutely wonderful right now. I was excited because I got a sample of your cookies.
Oh, nice.
I got a
Nice.
sample of your cookies, and I'm gonna just before we even get started, because I want everybody to talk about this and talk about what it is. Okay, you see the bag is flat, right?
Yeah.
So you see the bag is flat. So I
Both bags.
both bag. I got two bags, and they both gone. So everybody out there know what we're gonna be talking about today. We're gonna be talking about these cookies,
Okay.
soul
Okay.
snacks. I like that soul snack. So first of all, for those that don't know you, we want you to tell us who you are, talk about you, how did you start this wonderful business of yours, especially through a pandemic. Let's go. Let's hear about it.
Okay. So I'm Ralph Rolle. I'm from the Bronx, New York, born and raised here. Still have my business here. And actually, I started the cookie company back in 1996. There's been different iterations of the company throughout the year. I had a store in Japan. I was selling cookies in Europe, selling throughout New York to about 80 different stores, selling on the internet. But the goal for us was to always try to keep the company deeply rooted in the community, so we can employ from within, and buy locally, and just circulate the dollar throughout the community. Because that, in my opinion, if we're going to create another Black Wall Street, it's
Mm.
those are the things that we have to think about and put in motion. So I've been doing that for a while now. I had a restaurant here that we just closed on Christmas Day.
Oh,
The second variant just destroyed us. We could not sustain it any longer, and I was responsible for 13 employees. Which was very sad. But as far as the cookies are concerned, we're going to higher ground as far as where we are. We're moving to a new facility, a brand new facility in a space that used to be the Spofford Correctional Facility, and is
mm,
now affordable housing. Actually, Mike Tyson was there.
wow.
It's now affordable housing and space for small business. So we were fortunate enough to get one of those spaces. But my goal with the cookies, from the time I learned how to bake from my grandmother, and my mother, um, I guess my goal in life, because I have another career, is just to grow the community, show through example the possibilities. I came up in the projects, and usually when you tell people you're from the projects, they all of a sudden there's a stigma attached to you that
Right.
oh, he's from the projects. But I've never thought in those ways, and I've broken down a lot of doors, not only for myself but for other people. Through the example of just working with my company that I started in the projects, and now
Right.
we're
Yeah.
nationwide. So
Yeah. Let's double back for 1 second. I know you mentioned uh you started in 96. So that road was interesting. And then going into having a restaurant, and then the pandemic, the second wave of the pandemic is what kind of shut you down. And
yeah.
a lot of times, do you think that we as a culture, as a race, do you feel like we had enough support to sustain our businesses, or how do you feel about that, even knowing something like that kind of directed you differently?
Um, the beginning of the answer to that question is persistence overcomes resistance.
That's
That's the
good.
first thing.
Hmm.
I did not get funded the first PPP round at
Mm.
all. And the way how it worked is that when the second round came, I had to fill out all of that paperwork. It's not like you get an account number and you can resubmit. You got to
Right.
do it all over again.
Right.
And some people were discouraged by it, some weren't. I
Mhm.
was one of those people that were. I wasn't discouraged, and I'm not discouraged easily. So I went back in, and we did get funded, and that's how we ended up reopening the restaurant after the first uh, wave of COVID.
Mhm.
And we were doing well, and things were starting to build, and the audiences were slowly starting to come back. And then when Omicron hit, it just basically nailed it shut as to what we were trying to do.
Wow.
So during this time, which the Walmart deal wasn't immediate, it took us over a year to get in front of them, and then another almost another year of development and baking and processing. And so um, it's one of those kind of things that, if you think it's something that is against us, that is a way of thinking that
Yep.
is negative.
Mhm.
And although it may be true, let's be clear, we have to be persistent.
That's right.
We have a lot of inner resources within our communities, very intelligent people that we can ask questions. And also, the thing that I talk about when I do my classes is we have the keys to the castle every day with the internet. So information that we readily couldn't get our hands on is available
Right.
nonstop, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, that we can use that tool, the social media tool, the internet tool, to start your business, to find out about suppliers, to liaise with other businesses that are similar to yours, or where you can sell your product. So the door is open. It's just all about being persistent and not chasing the money,
Right.
but chasing and staying close to your passion is what I tell people, because passion has no expiration date. You
That's
know,
true. That's a good point.
it
That's
does not. And if it's really, really your passion, you will not let it go. And you will
that's right.
continue on no matter how long it takes, no matter how many years, because every bad lesson is a good lesson.
It's a good lesson.
Every good lesson is a great lesson.
That's right. And I was gonna say that because I was gonna transcend into the wonderful thing about the soul snacks. And I like how I saw a quote when I was doing my research, and it says it's so delicious.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank
Like
you.
that that just shows, like, when we do have situations where we have a pandemic or a crisis like we're in now, there are ways to overcome that, and there's ways to get out. So how hard was it for you or for Walmart to even pay attention to you, you know after that? Like,
Um,
what are some of the things that you did to get that?
okay. Um, Content.
Mm,
One of the most important things for any small business is continuous content, uh, positive content that leads people to understand what your business is about. So when the Walmart situation came up, it was someone who was already extremely successful in business, who had an opportunity for a company, a cookie company. It was, they was asked specifically if they had a cookie or something in that department that they could bring in, and they were trying to develop something. And this person, who was very successful in the hair care business, he actually owned African Pride Hair Care, and
oh
he
wow.
had sold it. He sold it for a substantial amount, and he made a decision. Him and his father made the decision to invest in small businesses.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I was the second company that he said, you know what? If I started a company, I would like to call it Soul Snacks. That's a great name. And he Googled Soul Snacks and looked in the trademark office and found me. So he said, wow, this is even great. I don't have to, I have someone, that I could actually go to. And then I received a phone call out the clear blue. And I entertain, phone calls if it's not a robocall or something. And the gentleman that called me happened to be a magician from Georgia, from Savannah, Georgia. He's one of the only black magicians on the circuit. And he said, hey, how you doing? This is Mark Dunstan. Uh, I have a show that I do. They call me Magic Mark, called Magication.
Oh
And
wow.
I met you at the Apollo when I came in and I did a show. So my normal place at home, my daughter and my wife will tell you, and my dogs will tell you, I'm sitting. If the TV is on, my computer is always open in front of me. I'm always trying to access information all of the time.
Right.
So as soon as he said his name, I Googled him, and I was like, I do remember this guy. And I remember him doing a magic show, because there wasn't, magicians coming through the Apollo. It's usually singers,
Right.
that came through. So we started talking. He says, I have a friend who I think you want to meet. And he coordinated a phone call with me and this gentleman. And he talked about his idea of what he wanted to do. And I took his address. I sent him some cookies. He called me back. He said, okay, so let's get to work. I have some plans. I believe that I could get this product into Walmart. And he was a man of his word. He was
Wow.
absolute. But the point is, and I'm saying this to everyone, we have this beautiful apparatus that we have in our phones, on our computers, that we should utilize all the time to get our names and our businesses and our ideas out there as far as what we're trying to do, and keeping the focus on your brand, and just be patient as how it grows,
Mm.
and the content of your posts, and it's all, everyone, just remember, everyone is watching all the time.
That's true. And it's kind of ironic that even this, which is some food, the same thing happens because we deal with a lot of musical there's an entertainment industry and artists and stuff like that, but the formula is the same. Like, you have to be patient, you have to be diligent, you have to make sure your brand is right. So it takes a
Right.
lot of time to cultivate and do all that. But for some reason, it's like, I guess with food, it seems it's the same thing to me. It's the
Yeah.
same exact thing. But a lot of times we find companies or we find artists and they don't get that. So that's what Culture Talk is about. We talk about things like this that go on in our culture that
Yes.
a lot of people overlook. So when people like you come along, uh, I think back in the past we had Famous Amos, the cookies. I think back then, I'm not sure. I don't know how much light was shined on or spotlighted on him, and I don't know where it is now. Now, do you find that when our people of our race, when we come up with things that we were doing all our lives, because cooking is our thing, especially like soul food, soul snacks. Do you find that sometimes other bigger entities come in and try to take over to the point where it's hard for us to maneuver in our smaller?
Okay. So as you see, uh, in many situations, you'll have your local hardware store, and then Home Depot might move in somewhere. It takes our community to understand where to spend your dollar. It
Mm,
doesn't, even if you go into a Lowe's or you go into a Home Depot, um, make sure that you're still supporting the local vendor, because they were there and they're raising a family. And I know people don't think on those terms a lot of times.
right.
Sometimes they do, but you have to go and support that local person, because these big box stores are amazing and they're important. But
Yep.
it's also just as important to support local business,
Mm,
community business. Sometimes spending the extra dollar in a local business is just as important to that business as it is to your community.
that's right.
So the reason why, it's funny you said that, and the reason why I was smiling is because two things. One, I went to school, public school, PS 77 in the Bronx, with a guy named Michael. Michael told me that his father owned a cookie company. And we're kids. All I heard was cookies. That's it. You said cookies. I want to know about the cookies.
Right.
Michael's last name is Amos.
Oh, okay. I know where you
Michael's father is
Wow.
Famous Amos. Is Wally Amos. So
Wow.
for so and so what happened? And I've always respected Wally for what he had done.
Hmm.
He broke into something on a scale that was huge. But what, I'm going to just give you the full story because it's in the
Please.
book and it's the whole nine. Um, Mr. Amos um, started building the company, kind of like me, because I'm in the entertainment business as well. And people were talking about the cookies, and before you know it, he had an offer for a partner. And in his negotiation, he sold the lion's share of his company to someone else. where that someone else took the name, the trademark, because they could do it at that point, threw out the recipe because the name was important.
Mm.
And Famous Amos cookies, what we know as Famous Amos, is not the recipe at all. It's
But
it's
that,
it's a different brand.
people have questioned that because they say the cookies are not the same
No,
that they used to be. So I didn't really. But go, please tell that story.
but you know, he started two other companies after that. And the reason why I know so much about him is not because Michael and I are friends, but because I'm in the business and I looked up to him and I wanted to learn more about him.
Mm.
So he started another company after that called No Name Cookies because he couldn't get his name back.
Oh,
Almost like Prince, almost the same
yeah.
exact thing. And then he started another company called the Cookie Kahuna.
Mm.
Okay, he lives in Hawaii, so it was a play on the Big Kahuna, which is
Right.
you've heard. So
Yeah.
he called himself the Cookie Kahuna. He went on Shark Tank, and none of the sharks took him, but Costco happened to be watching,
Mm.
and Costco ended up picking up Cookie Kahuna in Costco. I'm not sure if the brand is still there, but my point is this: I met Wally Amos in Hawaii. I was doing a show in Hawaii, and I told Michael I was going to be there. And I swear to you, when the man walked through the lobby of the hotel, I almost broke down and started crying
Mm.
because he stands for so much in our community
Right.
as a pioneer in the baking industry. He made it possible for me.
Right. Right.
And I knew that. So I see him walking in. I just was like, I shook his hand. Very tall man. I didn't know he was so tall. And when I tell you in the maybe hour and a half that we sat down, we had lunch together, that man dropped some gems on me about life, about business, about understanding the baking industry. And he
Mm.
wasn't bitter.
Wow.
And he was telling, he was just saying, okay, there's enough room out here for all of us, is the point. So if
Mm.
somebody else out there has cookies, there's room out here for all of us. There's millions of buyers. Our dollar is a powerful dollar.
Very
That
much.
right, a powerful dollar that we can circulate it throughout our communities. And this is not a bad thing. This is all about economics. So it's
Right.
not a black thing or a white thing. It's just about economics for your community. It's about economics for your family. It's about circling the dollar within the community. And this is something that I try to talk to young people about is don't get discouraged if you're not making money. If you started your business and the first thing on your list was making money, then stop.
Stop. That's
Just
right.
just because if you don't make the money, you're going to walk away, which means we go back to that word passion again. It's not your passion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Passion should not be chasing money.
Right.
Pa- Passion should be the idea of something that will get you up in the morning to do that no one has to pay you for.
That's right. That's right.
And
That's
and
why
and
passion is important.
it's extremely important. I mean, the first time that I sold a cookie, I was successful. That's how I see success is not relegated in how much money you make. Success is in finishing the thought.
Finishing
Finish
the thought. That
finish the thought.
I'm glad you said that. You confirmed something for me. I started out as a musical artist, and I never forget. I said, I'm not gonna feel successful until I can see my music in the stores. And I
Right.
remember when I went to go buy my own record. So it just did something to me. It made me feel like I accomplished something. So that was success for me. It wasn't how many sales I get. It wasn't that. It was the fact that I got it in there because nobody knows how hard it is to even get it to that point. And
And
all
that's
the
my
things I
point.
went through. Yeah, that's your point. So with that being said, how did you feel when you can go see this?
Okay. I have today's the 14th. That means we have 2 weeks and 1 day before it
Mm.
hits the shelf.
Oh, it has. Oh,
Um,
that's deep. It hasn't hit the shelf yet.
April 1st.
Wow.
The truck
April.
I went out to the baking facility in New Jersey and I
Mhm.
took video of two 18 wheelers being packed. Okay, that's my wife. She has a special ringtone. Let me cut the volume down. Hold on. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So I went out to New Jersey and watched two 18-wheelers packed with cookies. And
Mm,
it's still surreal. It's still surreal. And people say, how do I feel about it? I feel amazing. But the next step is now getting back to my community, taking what I've done and making it make sense. As my executive assistant always says, she says, let's make it make sense. It's about making it make sense. You know, there are journeys that we've had, all of us in
mm-hmm,
America,
mm-hmm.
that are full of stories and trials, tribulations, triumphs, all of those things. But I live my life by the 5 P's. I teach this. I go out to do master classes in drumming:
Oh wow.
passion, power, placement, performance, and purity.
Wow.
Passion is number one, of course. And I expound on those things. So my goal is to take all that I'm doing and be able to show the community. And I'm talking about the community at large. I'm talking about our people and all people.
Mm-hmm.
That if I came from Bronx River Houses, apartment 3F, 1595, and if I could do this with passion, then anybody could do it.
That's right. That's
It
right.
just takes getting out of your own way to make it happen. And that's the goal for me right now.
Getting out of your own way. That's something that I hear, that we all hear all the time. And I'm gonna ask you, what is getting out of your own way to you? Because a lot of people seem to not understand that they're in their own way.
Great question. Um, in my class, and if you go to ralphrolle.com, you'll probably see it up there. I do a whole segment on the worst four-letter word in the English language,
Ha.
which is can't.
Yep.
Can't is powerful, and it's so powerful that it can not only stagnate you, but stagnate your family and the things around you by not getting out of your own way. So I learned to eliminate the word can't from my life.
Hmm.
Can't is a hard word, and oh, I can't do that. That's not going to happen. There's a lot of other words that are connected. What if it doesn't? What if people don't like it? And I don't know if I have time for that. And I just, those all of those things are brain exercises, and your brain is like any other muscle in your body. And if you exercise it right, it will grow and function well. If you don't, it will atrophy and shrivel up and not work right. So
That's
all of those exercises that you're putting in could be ways of slowing you down. So when people understand that you can have the same, if you choose, the same daily affirmation if you want, as long as it helps you to move forward. Take those bricks that you built yourself, because we got enough stuff to deal with out here in these streets.
who you telling.
Take those bricks that you built yourself about how you see yourself, and start breaking those bricks down so you can see over it and around it. That realize that you got 24 hours every day to get it right. You might come home from work, oh, I'm so tired. I had a long day. But if something you're passionate about is leading you, you'll take that time at the end of your day. Maybe you might take a nap and get up again to invest an hour or two in your forward motion. I
Mm.
have a book. I don't have it with me right now. Yes, I do. Right here. This book right here,
Mm-hmm.
this book goes everywhere with me.
Mm.
And in this book, as you see, if you can see that, let me see if I can get that there.
Not clearly the words. Oh, I
Yeah,
see
yeah,
you.
you see.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this book, everything that I need to do or things I'm thinking about is written in this book.
So wait, what book is that exactly? What's that?
It's just this is a book of nothing. This this is nothing in this book. This
Mm-hmm.
is my
Yeah.
life, my
Right.
idea.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why they go in this book, because once I put them in this book, these are things that I have to get done. This is me
Special
on the outside.
manifestation book. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I get it. Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
So my point to you and everyone else, no matter what you believe in or who you believe in,
Mm.
those are all positive support systems.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Depending on how you retain the messaging in those support systems. But the
Mm.
biggest support system that you have is within yourself to be able to have a support system.
That's right.
Think about it. Because if you didn't believe in yourself, how hard is it to believe in something else or someone
Mm.
else?
Mm.
You get my point?
Yes.
So this book, honestly, I know it sounds crazy,
No.
is an extension of me. So I put it in here. I got to get this done. I got to do that. I got to do this. And when I get it done, cross, 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 cross.
So you definitely believe in the laws of attraction and manifestation and all that because you put it down in that book. And that's work. And I think a lot of time young entrepreneurs, new artists, whoever, they don't understand it takes a certain amount of work even before you get to the part where you have to go to work. But no
Right.
one really gets that. They think, okay, I did this, I did that. It's supposed to happen tomorrow. And that is
Because, brother, the grass is always greener on the other side.
and
That's
sometimes
what it is.
it ain't.
But here's what's crazy. Sometimes you look at somebody else's grass growing, you go, man, I can't get my grass to look like that. There's that word can again.
Yep.
But sometimes when you go across and take a close look at that grass, you realize how much love they put into it to get it to
Into
that point.
it. And that's
Okay.
what it takes.
And then you ask the person, instead of just admiring it from afar, how'd you get your grass to look like that? You
Mm-hmm.
know, could you tell me what I could do? Because my grass is not. What can I do? How can I learn from you?
Yeah.
Ask questions. When I on the drumming side,
Mm-hmm.
my mother couldn't afford lessons. I just listened to everything on the radio. Most of these young kids out here that are incredible players are learning from just watching other people. The thing that I always want to tell them, as far as success is concerned in the music business, is when you're playing music, it's not about you. It's
Ah,
about
wait. I need you to say that one more time so that we can make sure that we hear that. Please say that again. Please, please.
okay. At this age, and the reason why I have sustained a living in the entertainment industry on many levels is because I'm serving, in my opinion, something bigger than myself.
Mm-hmm.
Each and every song that I play or produce or involved in requires my full and utmost attention, not to
Mm-hmm.
me or things that I might be doing to impress someone. I'm trying to make the music do what it do.
Right.
That's all of the legends that we love. You want to know why is it that I love that person? It's
Mm-hmm.
because they're making the music do what it do. It's not about the flash or and all of that. It's about, okay, song, what do you need from me? What are you asking me for? And let me give it to you. Whether that's a tacit beginning or nothing at all, because sometimes less is more. So
Mm-hmm.
all of these lessons that I've learned from the guys that I grew up with, one of them being a gentleman named Ricky Williams.
Mm.
And you might not know the name, but
Yeah.
Ricky Williams meant the world to me. Ricky Williams is 6'5". His main instrument is not even drums, it's keyboards.
Mm-hmm.
He writes every day. He plays many different instruments, and Ricky's blind
Mm-hmm.
and never let that get in his way for 1 second. The other one is another Ricky named Ricky Mangum. Ricky Mangum took me under his wing and showed me rudiments that I applied to my drums. So not only do you need to believe in yourself, but it's good to have mentors too,
Yes, sir.
you know. But
Yes.
the main thing that I know about the music when I'm playing music, and I want people to always understand that when I'm closing my eyes, I ain't trying to look cool. I'm trying to get into what's needed and necessary for the music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Like your journey. So you started out as a drummer,
Yes.
correct? So you were
Yes.
drumming music. Did you tour a lot? Did you tour?
I Yeah, I did. I'm still touring actually.
Oh wow.
Um, my very first gig, I was 19, and I had just got my drum set not too long before. But because I was so passionate about playing, when I first started, my brother Howie was always my inspiration because I didn't grow up with a father, so it was him. But then when he met his girlfriend, he was with her all the time, and I get it. I totally understand. But the drums were in the house, and then the drums were not in the house. So I asked my mother what happened to the drums, and she said, "Don't ask me, ask your brother." And I knew where he was. He was at Michelle's house, where she was in the next building. So
Right.
I said, Howie, what happened to the drums? I went over there and he said, well, first of all, I had to sell the drums because Michelle was pregnant and I'm going to be a father and I needed the money.
Right.
And, he was a teenager and she was a teenager too. And mommy put me out because I need to be a man now. My mother was no joke. She was like many,
I
many
can
black
tell.
mothers. She was no
I can
joke.
tell. Mm-hmm.
So the silver lining to that story, one, is that I kept the passion for drumming up and I accessed everybody in the neighborhood that had drums. And I played on everybody's kit until I could get my own, which
Mm-hmm.
was a deal I made with my mother. I packed bags at the supermarket, made some money, bought the drums, and the deal was she would buy the cymbals. And
Oh
as soon
wow.
as the drums got in the room, I played drums from the time until she came home from work. But what's even greater is that my brother is just celebrated his 50th wedding anniversary with that same woman. They have 4 daughters and a bunch of grandkids, and he's now retired. He was a mechanical engineer,
Mm.
and it's a good thing. I mean, it turned out good, and he always says very emotionally that if mommy didn't put him out, he probably would not be the man that he was.
Wow. It
Yeah,
turned that
so
into something great. Yeah.
yeah, but I started drums young, and then I got a guy in my building heard me, and he said, "Yo," he called me out the window. His name is Wade, but everyone called him Puggy. And Puggy called me out the window and said, "Hey man, you sounding real good up on them drums, man. I got an audition. If you want to go, you could go." And I said, "An audition? Yeah, I want to go." I said, "But you got to ask my mother. She's not gonna let me just go." So he came upstairs and he spoke to my mother and let me go to the audition. And it was for this group called Musique, and the
Mm-hmm.
song is called "Push Push in the Bush."
Push, push in the bush.
There
Yeah.
you go. That was
Yeah.
my very first time on a professional gig, very first time on the airplane, very first time with a passport. And we went to Mexico, and it was a very life changing experience when I went to Mexico, brother. And I tell
Mm.
everyone, just travel, where you can, see other countries, because the lessons that you will learn from watching other cultures will change your life. And it changed my life. It really did. So I've worked with many over the
Mm.
years. I've been fortunate enough. I was the drummer on Showtime at the Apollo with Ray Chu and the crew. I've worked with Queen Latifah. I've worked with D'Angelo, Erica Badu, India Irie, Notorious B.I.G., Najee, Freddie Jackson, Glenn Jones, Orange Juice Jones. Um, uh, I played on many TV shows. I was a musical director on a show on ABC. I was just a lot of different people. I've been very, 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 very fortunate.
See,
Um,
that's the thing that I think a lot of people don't get either. Like when they see stuff like with the soul snacks, they probably think, "Oh, that's all you've done." But other things that you have to do coming up in this industry, just being who you are, this industry of entertainment is what I'm talking about. Like you have to do so many things to get to the thing. And like you said, all those artists that you named, I too have that in common. So I understand what you're talking about. And I've traveled and I understand that. And all of that, it takes all those ingredients to come up with stuff like this. You know,
right.
and sometimes I think people don't want to do all the things that it takes necessary to get to get the result that you want. They think that it's supposed to be easier, but it's not. And then they find out it's not really for them, you know?
There's an old saying: "Easy come, easy
E-
go."
That's right.
And
That's
it's very true. As simple as those 4 words are, it's very true in a lot of situations. You want it to come quick, and then sometimes when it comes quick, and it could go just as quick. Maybe
just
that's not the case all the time,
exactly.
but all I know is that persistence overcomes resistance.
Mm.
Patience is a virtue. Learn from your mistakes, learn from your triumphs, and
Mm.
apply it to your forward motion every 24 hours that you have.
Right. Every 24 hours. So with that being said, I know Soul Snacks cookies is not all. Are you getting into brownies and things like that? Like, what are you doing?
Okay, so we have a bunch of other products. So, but we actually Walmart chose 2. I
Mm.
think Kroger might choose 3 flavors.
Okay.
but we have 18 different flavors. Some of those are vegan, gluten free as well.
Oh, I
Um,
gotta get some of those.
yeah.
I gotta get a
So,
lot of stuff.
so if you go to soulsnacks.com, you'll be
Yep.
able to see all the stuff that we have for sale. But yes, the goal is to bring other products out in other places. But again, that's going to be in time. We're trying to get more stores here.
Hmm.
The next store that we're going after will probably be Target and then Whole Foods. And then the reason why I'm building the new facility so we can start selling to the stores in the community that we were selling to before.
Mm.
So the goal is never to leave the community. That's
Right.
not something I ever plan on
Please
doing.
don't.
I don't care. No, it won't happen. I don't. I mean, there is a point like now that this particular deal had to be given to a company that can handle it with many employees.
Most
But my
definitely.
but my business is still in my community. Is my point.
That's
You
right.
know, and I will be. I know I will be working with other entrepreneurs. And in our new facility, I have to tell you, which is I'm so excited about, we are building a culinary school in the facility.
Oh
So we will
wow.
be teaching the art of cooking and baking in our facility. It's part of
Now
the plan.
that is awesome. How did you start even getting the interest to bake after what being a drummer and everything? What made you start baking cookies?
Um, Thank you for that question. Um, as a young kid, as I told you, I wasn't raised with my father, and when my brother got with his girlfriend, I was around all other than me and my cousin Vincent, all women.
Right.
So when I would go to my grandmother's house, my grandmother was cooking all the time. Then at home, my mother was cooking all the time. So to me, it was just part of the normal regimen of life
Right.
to feed your family.
Right.
And my cousin Vincent and I, when my grandmother would bake, she would give us the bowl. Now we were so small, we'd be sitting at the table on telephone books when they still had telephone books,
Yep.
and I would be sharing the bowl, and it'd be so clean that you didn't ever have to wash it. I mean, we've
Right.
all. Now, my point is that all of us in our families have been down
Yes.
this road, and that
Yes.
memory was so beautiful to me that I always wanted to feel that and see that. And then
Mhm.
I was a shy kid, so when I wanted to meet girls and my friends, my teens, they were cool to me. I wasn't cool,
Right. Right.
so
Right.
they had swag. I felt like I was, and also I was a nerdy kid in school, and
Mhm.
so my thing to meet a girl is I would bake something. I'd bake some.
Hey,
I would
whatever.
bake some cookies, or I would bake like a cupcake or a one layer cake. And then as I got older, there were kids in my neighborhood that grew up without fathers like me. So I would just ask, their mother, not trying to meet the mother, but just, is it okay if I give them some cookies or whatever? Just from because my mother was real deep in community. She ran
Right.
the tenant patrol, the tenants association, the flower program, and the summer youth program. So I got it naturally just to want to give
Right.
back. But that was many times. It was my opening line when it came to, "Oh, that's so nice. You're so nice," and I'd be like, "Well,
Yeah, that's the hey, we used to get joked like that because I used to sing all the time. And they were like, "Oh, Kevin's so nice." And some of my guy friends, they would be so mad because all the girls would be my friends. And they'd be like, Kev, hook me up with this, hook me up with this. But these are the same dudes, they used to try to, pick on me and fight me and stuff. But then it was like, Kev. So I get it.
now they want to run with you, right?"
Right,
Because
right. I get it. I totally
you
get
see,
it.
so
That's awesome though. You
yeah,
know,
when my girlfriend moved in, and that's when we started the company.
oh
Um,
wow.
yeah, she
Okay.
moved in, and we was trying to save money for the holidays, and we had 36 friends and family. We sent out cookies to everybody, and everybody said, "Man, these are really good." And at that moment, I said, "You know what? Okay, this is something we should do." And we started, and before you knew it, the first sales was at Sylvia's restaurant.
Sylvia's. I miss Sylvia's. Oh my God. Yeah.
Are you from New York?
Yes. Yeah. I forgot to tell you, Well, I lived in Harlem and Brooklyn. On
Okay,
152nd Nick, and then I went to Best Eye. But I was born in Jersey City.
got
Yes.
you. So you're northeast, and no
Oh,
matter
most
what.
definitely. Like even our producer, Red, he's on in the back there, making sure everything's right. He's from up there too. So it's a
Nice,
family thing. So I
nice.
get the drive, I get all the discipline, living living up north is a little bit different from living in the South. Whatever it is in the South that they get that makes them do what they do, that's great. I don't know that exactly. I know what it is up north, and I know it helps build character, a lot of character, because I think if I didn't have a northern attitude, I wouldn't be as assertive,
Right.
as I am. And I think that helps a lot. I do have a question to ask you though.
Yes,
So
sir.
on April 1st, when
Yes.
these launch, when these actually come out, will they be packaged like this? Is
That
this the
is the package.
Oh, so this is the package. So
That's the Walmart package. Yes, sir.
okay, great. So we want everybody to go in and look at that Walmart package. I actually love both of them. I love the peanut butter morsels. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you made this, put chunks of peanut butter in, or I
Yes.
don't know how you did that, but this is the
Yeah.
package, everyone. I'm telling. Look, and mine is empty because when I got these and I just wanted to taste, they called me the Cookie Monster, by the way. So when I realized it was cookies, I was like, oh yeah, we'll talk to them. So hopefully one day I get to do a commercial or something and I give me a lifetime supply of soul snacks.
Well, we're doing this thing called Taste the Cookies. So if you want, I'll send you some more. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll send you
please.
the link. So it's so easy. And I want everybody around the United States to do it. Is just walk up to somebody and just introduce yourself. Hi, how you doing? So what's your name? Where you from? And taste the cookie, pour the cookie into their hand, and just get the natural reaction
Oh,
as
we're
to what they
definitely
think.
gonna be on that. We
Yeah,
we might help do that because I think that's
thank
an
you.
interesting thing because even people that I shared it with, they were like, they would take a bite and they'd be, this is good. This is really good. And then what it does is, y'all, I'm just telling everybody what it does. Like you bite the cookie and you're trying to get the taste of it. All of a sudden, this lump that you bite into of a chocolate morsel or a peanut butter morsel, and it just bursts into a whole new flavor.
Yeah,
How did you?
we call that the 3 second smash.
So you
Where
knew that was gonna happen.
well, it's been so. This is thankfully what happens. A person bites the cookie, and this is for real. They'll bite it and go, this is good. Then they go, like
Yes.
it that it's like a double hit once you get it in. And so we call it the 3 second
It's
smash.
really true. That is. I'm sorry, Red. I didn't share these with you, but next time I see you, we're gonna or it would have to be April 1st, whatever. But these cookies right here, I'm gonna just tell y'all, take the bite. I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's like that second hit that you're talking about, and
Yeah,
it
yeah,
knows exactly where the morsel is. Like
yeah, yeah.
I've never
Thank you.
tasted anything like that.
Thank
So
you. I really appreciate it. I mean, hopefully, the country will embrace the product.
I think so,
You know,
especially with it's so delicious, like so delicious. I love that. And
thank
Soul
you.
Snacks, we're supporting our own. You got Down Home double chocolate chip and Grampy's chocolate peanut butter.
Yeah, and when it hits Kroger, they'll probably get the coconut milk chocolate toffee cookie, which is
I
really good.
saw that. I saw that
Yeah.
on your website. Look, I stayed on your website longer than I do social Instagram. I just
Thank
kept
you, brother.
at the
Thank you.
cranberry and some was the cranberry cookies. I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
have an oatmeal cranberry cookie as well. Yeah.
man, I I commend you, and I think
Thank you.
everybody should support you, your family, these wonderful cookies. Were you a chef before this, or you just baking?
Um, I was just baking and I would cook. It was usually cooking to impress somebody. If I because I'm telling you, I didn't feel like I you learn things as you grow, and the thing that I learned was that either I was playing drums or I was trying to be funny or I was trying to cook something. That
Mm,
was that was that was it for me. So I was probably drumming first, and then I started doing more of the. I was always baking, but I
mhm.
started doing more of the cooking stuff, and then we opened a restaurant. It was there to feature some of the dishes
Right,
that
right.
and I just like entertaining people, whether it's with food or cookies or music. I just like entertaining folks, man.
Food, cookies, and music. I think we need to do that and make that a show. Food, cookies,
Well,
and
I
music.
well, speaking of, I just want to send a quick shout out to my man Angelo Ellaby over at Double Exposure
Oh,
because
I
he's the
wasn't gonna
one.
let you get away without that. We
Because he's the one.
definitely, yeah. Go ahead, give him a shout out.
No, Angelo Ellaby at Double Exposure. Let me tell you something, y'all. If you have a business
Mm-hmm.
and this is the truth. I can unequivocally tell you that Angelo will have your back, and
Definitely.
get you in places that you might have never thought, or get you in front of people that you might have
Yes.
never thought was possible. And here's the thing: when Angelo and I met, we met through a mutual friend. Let's take all of 30 seconds to talk about
Mm-hmm.
Angelo. I was at the time I was A&R manager for Jive Records.
Right.
So I stayed in the business, but I put the sticks down because I wanted to learn more about what's went on in the business. I got hired by Jive Records, and Angelo and I met, and he had started out his publicity company, and I got him an interview for the job of publicist for Jive. And
Mm-hmm.
honestly, he never forgot that, because when
Wow.
I started, he never forgot it. When I started the cookie company, I went to Angelo and I said, "Okay, here's what's going on. We got one article from when we was in Sylvia's. There was a guy from YSB magazine,
Mm-hmm.
and he did an interview on me and my girlfriend because we were both from public housing, and she was a Juilliard graduate. So he said, "Wow, this is a cool story." From that story, we started to get a lot of orders and moved out of our apartment with our kitchen over to my friend's brownstone,
Mm-hmm.
and his mother let me convert the bottom part into a kitchen. I went to Angelo and I said, "I want to publicize the product more, but I don't really have a lot." And because we were, cool, he said, "Okay, I'm going to pick you up for a couple of months, and you're going to pay my expenses, and I'm going to do you a solid. You did me a solid."
Wow.
And in that short span of time, this is the truth, we were in all of the magazines that were out at the time. We were in The Source, Right On, Sister to Sister, the New York Times, the Village Voice, the Post, the Daily News. Then we were on ABC, NBC, Fox in the Morning, the TV Food Network,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so many of the London Independent. So I went back to him now that I could afford to actually go back
Right.
to him and say, and he's been doing an exemplary job too. I just did a photo shoot that changed my life. So, I
Really.
feel, yeah, Angelo knows his stuff.
Let me tell you, yeah, we love Angelo Ellaby at Double Exposure. Also Kevin Goins, shout out to him at New Grooves.
Yes. Shout out to
All,
Kevin Goins.
yes,
Yes.
all of them. And we definitely have to get Angelo back to talk because he was so instrumental with us and a lot of people that he brought us to interview. So shout out to Double Exposure, New Grooves
Yeah.
Entertainment, Angelo Ellaby.
Good dude.
Shout out to you. Tell
Thank
everybody
you, brother.
where we can find you. And
Okay.
because I'm telling them the cookies are good. So
Thank you.
tell
Well,
us.
on social media, if you hashtag Soul Snacks, Cookies, hashtag Taste the Cookie.
Mhm.
The website is soulsnacks.com, soulsnacks.com. If you want to know more about my music career, you can go to Ralph Rolle, RalphRolle.com. If you reach out to me via email, I will answer your questions.
Mm.
My email addresses are there. Um, yeah, it's important that we understand that messaging was done with drums
Mm.
in Africa,
That's
and
right. Good.
messaging is something that I always want to do. It's
What
passing the message forward.
what year were you at Jive? And
Oh, I was at job. Okay, I can tell you the perfect time. I don't remember the year, but I was there with the signing of High Five and R. Kelly.
oh, so you were there too when Millie Jackson was there, right?
They flew me down to Atlanta to meet with Millie about
Okay.
her new record. Yeah,
Right. The
and
young man, older woman.
she that's what she was singing to me at her kitchen table.
You know,
She
I've
says, "I got this idea for a song called Young Man, Older Woman."
it's funny. I said you look familiar to me. I've been Millie's background singer for years. And I kept saying, and when you said jive, I was like, okay, but I know this about the cookies. But it's all in there
No,
together. So
you know what? Let me tell you something. I don't know who that drummer. I don't know who that drummer was, but I got words for him because I did a show. We
oh,
opened up for Millie Jackson,
where
and I don't even know, but I was playing with Evelyn Champagne King.
Evelyn. Oh, I was there. No,
Okay,
it was in Detroit, right?
I don't know where it was, but this
And it
is
was
this is
outside.
moons ago.
It
This
was
is I
outside.
don't even.
I
But the drummer,
I
the
remember.
drum,
I
I
know
told
what
the
happened. I know what happened. I was there. I know what happened.
you
I remember it
you
was
wait till I see that guy.
well. You know what? George Moreland, rest in peace.
Oh,
He
I'm so sorry.
away.
Oh,
He
please
passed
forgive me.
away. Yeah, right when the pandemic came in, I think. Yeah,
Wow.
passed away right before that. But yes, I do remember the Evelyn King gig, and that was one of his last, almost one of his last ones. I think I don't know, but yeah, I do remember that. But you do look familiar. I gotta tell Millie. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm
What?
gonna. Well, I can't take this bag over there, but everybody, the soul snacks again. These are the double chocolate chip ones. Home. I mean, down home
Down
double
home.
chip.
So if you want, I will send you my number. You will send me your address, and I will send cookies to you.
Because I want to take
And
these
then,
to her.
yeah,
And
I'll
I
send you some for you and for Miss Jackson.
okay, great. Because I'm gonna take them over. I'm gonna say, guess what? Because she a hell of a cook too. I go over
Yeah,
there sometimes to eat, but interesting. Jive and the whole nine. I remember all of that. I was young. I was like 19 or something when I
wow,
started.
wow.
Yeah, but I do remember that. But congratulations to you. And I just look forward to seeing your company grow. I look
Thank
forward to
you,
seeing more you inspiring more people to have businesses like you and help expanding our culture. And we can come talk about it all the time. So I appreciate you for allowing us to interview you down here in Atlanta because we get
thank
that a
you,
lot. This goes everywhere, so we're gonna get everybody to see this. So I want to thank the Heat Seekers. Thank you, Red Dread, Lady J, and myself. I'm Kevin Bryant, but any last words? What would you say to those young entrepreneurs that's trying to get there? Cookies, brownies, donuts, whatever it is that they're trying to do. What would you say to them?
The first thing is passion has no expiration date, and persistence overcomes resistance. I got that from Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box, and when I heard it, I was like, "That's it. I'm keeping that." So,
Wow.
yeah, persistence overcomes resistance. Just don't give up and realize that passion has no expiration date. And if you remember those two things and not chase the dollar, but chase the dream. Cool.
There we go. Did we go
Yep.
off red? Because usually we get right at it was like 3 minutes before, but I don't know if we went off totally yet. I can't tell. But if we haven't, thank you again. And what I'm gonna do is I guess I'll do it. I'll get Angelo to give you information. I'll call him or something. But I think are we off live now? It looked like we're still going. I'm not sure. Are we off?
Still on last couple seconds, y'all. Sorry, it was a mistake.
Okay, we
Oh no,
still on.
so I thought
Yeah.
he was like, okay, this guy talk too much. Let me shut him up.
No, no. It's automated. It does it.
I'm
At
kidding,
the
bro.
same time. But yeah, so you said persistence. Say your thing. We'll give you a spill.
Overcomes
That's right.
persistence overcomes
Overcomes
resistance.
resistance.
I got that from Mr. Ralph McDaniel's Video Music Box. And passion has no expiration date.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
believe in
definitely
yourself, get
eager.
out your own way.
Yeah, I'm definitely eager to talk to you. Thanks again and congratulations.
Thank you, man.
All
Thank you,
right.
brother. Thank
Everybody,
you.
this is Kevin Bryant, and I am here with Culture Talk, brought to you by the Heat Seekers, and we are out.